And welcome back to Subculture on centralcoastradio.com. Well, now I'm going to take a look at another show that is on as part of the Melbourne Fringe Festival. This one may be over by now, but we're still going to take a look at it because I'm sure it is going to pop up at a few other festivals, either in Melbourne or around Australia as the next few months and years go on. It is called Judge Winston, and it's performed by Kieran Bullock and friends. Now, I don't like saying that because I'll go into it a little bit later on, but the other three actors and actresses that are in this production are really, really good as well. But unfortunately, as we record this, no cast list has been sent through and there was no theatre bill last night. But Judge Winston is a production with a difference. And this is one of those plays where if it's held anywhere else, I don't know if it's going to have the same feel as what it did for us when we saw the production. Because, of course, we got to see it in Trades Hall, which is one of the Melbourne Fringe Festival hubs in Melbourne. And we got to see it in the old Carlton Council Chambers. Now, given that this is set in a courtroom, it was the perfect experience. We were kind of brought into this very, very old room that was built in the 1800s. It looked like a courtroom, even though it was a council chambers. We had this horseshoe kind of arrangement of seats that felt like they'd been there since the 1800s as well. And it actually looked and felt like you were sitting in a courtroom, like especially an 1800s courtroom. But Judge Winston, played by Kieran Bullock, kind of operates like a Judge Judy kind of unit. But most of this production is ad-libbed, or that's the feeling that you get when you're watching it. There's some great interplay before the plaintiff or the defendant comes into the actual theatre. There's a little bit of interplay there between Judge Winston and the actress that plays Dorothy, and that was really interesting. I actually felt that was one of the funniest parts of the show. They talk about Dorothy's very bland breakfast, and that all felt ad-libbed. If it wasn't ad-libbed, then this goes to a whole new level because it was so natural. It felt like they were almost trying to make each other laugh with their answers. Judge Winston would ask questions like, so what did you have for breakfast this morning, Dorothy? And Dorothy would be like, I had 2 eggs. And he would be like, any condiments? No. So, yeah, if that was not ad-libbed, then this is very, very well written. Now, apparently the court cases change from night to night. Now, at the start, this is one of the other reasons why I feel this might be ad-libbed. At the start, they mentioned that we would see 3 cases, and as jury members, we would be able to vote on who we felt was right, the defendant or the plaintiff. You're given little cards and you get to hold them up when you get to do your vote. Now, we were told at the start of the night that we were going to be doing 3 cases. We only ended up being able to do 2 because of time. I could see the guy up the back of the room, the lighting and sound guy, hastily flashing a light at one point, and then Judge Winston, Kieran Bullock, asked Dorothy what time it was, and she said it was 9:43, so we wrapped up without seeing the 3rd case. But so the 2 cases we saw was, one was an historical case, and it was Italy suing Canada over inventing putting pineapple on pizza. So the plaintiff, who was played by an actress, she put her argument out there that Italy developed pizza, so therefore Italy has the right to say what should and shouldn't be on a pizza. Then at the same time, we had the kind of laid back guy representing Canada saying that Italy need to be more open and stuff like that. And it was very witty. That court case, the dialogue from the plaintiff and the defendant was very professional, but very, very witty. Then the second court case we had was a young woman had gone overseas. She'd brought a mug back as a souvenir, had taken it to work. It had been left in the kitchen, and this other guy who tried to be as cool as anything kind of thing in the courtroom had started using this mug. He claimed he'd used it 2,000 times and that he should now be the owner of the mug when she's leaving, so she can't take it with her. That one was a lot more comical. The actor playing the plaintiff, he really, really played up what he was doing. He was doing the whole hey kind of Fonzie kind of routine to the audience. He was at times disrespectful to the judge and swore in court and stuff like that, whereas the woman was kind of more timid, a little bit frightened to speak at times, kind of thing. So we kind of saw a really professional kind of case on a stupid topic, of course, to make it comical. And then we saw a kind of more completely comical case where it was, two co-workers fighting over a mug. But look, the entire night worked really, really well. I must admit that when I read what this show was about, I kind of had a little bit of a fear that perhaps there'd be some audience participation, which I'm not always particularly that happy with. But no, that's not the case. If you are going to go along and see Judge Winston at some stage, there is no audience interaction aside from the fact of when you're voting. And there was one time last night where the Judge Winston wasn't sure if he'd counted my vote, so he said to me, "Oh, sir, did you vote?" And I said, "Yes," and there was just that. But you do not get brought up and treated as a plaintiff or a defendant, as it kind of hinted online. That doesn't happen. So, look, I loved it. I thought the highlight of it was the interplay between Dorothy and Judge Winston himself. That really, really made for a natural kind of feel that made this funny. Like, that's where most of the laughs came from. I did have a lot of laughs at the cool kind of the Fonzie kind of guy coming through as well. But yeah, look, this is well worth a look. It's very, very it's an acquired taste when it comes to theatre, this kind of thing. But yeah, I really did enjoy it. So if you get the opportunity to check out Judge Winston, check it out at some stage, because yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's either well written or it's good improv. Not sure, but yeah, that's part of the mystery of Judge Winston. We'll be back in a moment on Subculture.